NERDSoul.
Lay ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Let's go, cause you best believe that. We up in here talking about some trailers. It's been a minute, but it ain't been too long. We got things to do. I had things to do, and the gentleman on the line had things to do. But we here to talk about Rings of Power and some Star Trek. So, without further ado, I give to you the cinematic sorcerer. That's right, Solar Gray. What's up?
You shall not click away from this video because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Hey guys, I'm Solar Gray, the Cinematic Sorcerer, coming at you from the Wizard's Tower. And man, we're talking trailers. It's that time. We got through a couple of shows, but then they hit us with, oh look, we got other shows that y'all supposed to be watching. And we're like, all right, fine, let's see what you got.
Wow. All right, cool. So I guess first up, we can get into that good old how should we say them rings. The Rings of Power. That's right. You guys know, Lord of the Rings, it's a little story out there. You may have heard of it. And they decided to, take it back a little bit. Take it back in the day. Show us what happened way before we met Frodo. Oh yeah, called it Rings of Power. We had a TV show. We talked. It was you. Did Jay talk about it sometime with us as well?
I believe we were talking about it with Jay.
Yeah, I think you, Jay, and I talked about Rings of Power as well. And it was a show that I ended up really liking. Even though I don't know everything about Lord of the Rings, I just know what's in the movies. But I ended up liking it. I thought it was cool. It was, fresh and brand new for me, But I mean, of course, we have you because you're like the Lord of the Rings historian.
I am a ringer, one would say.
So, since we've finally seen this trailer, and I've watched the trailer, I'm pretty sure you've watched it more than once. How are you feeling about season 2 or going into season 2 now?
There is a lot I can deal with on season 2. I'm noticing a lot with these fantasy shows. Mm-hmm. They seem to suffer from the Star Trek curse.
Okay.
That first season makes you go, and then they upshift because this trailer pretty much seems like they read through all of the hate and they watched all the videos and said, oh, y'all wait, we got a little bit more. You wanted to know where all those walking not quite hobbit yet people are doing? We got you.
Yeah, boy, not quite hobbit.
All right, you want to know what's up with these rings and how people actually felt about them? We got you. Y'all wanted to see Tom Bombadil in the movies? Don't worry, we got you.
Yeah. The reason I like this trailer, and I'm excited for what we're getting, because this trailer seems to be all gas, no brakes. Now, I mean, of course, we're going to have scenes where people have to talk and maybe, discuss things. But this trailer seems to show that there's going to be, like, now that the rings are out there and the rings are coming out there, it seems like it's hitting the fan now. Like, it's like, okay, the villain has kind of revealed himself and now it's really on. I mean, we have so much because you get like the small teaser, and then the San Diego trailer was pretty long. The San Diego trailer is like almost 4 minutes. So there's a lot of just visuals, a lot of voiceover that give you an idea about these rings, how they're having a hold on people, how it might be bending them to Sauron's will and everything. There's a lot to love from action standpoint, because it seems like we are not going to be wasting a lot of time in this season. It seems like the stakes are here and people are deciding what side they're going to be on, and that's what I'm here for. And I'm here for that.
From a lore point of view, and this is a really I got a little more faith in this. I know a lot of people are like, man, you just being too nice all the time. I'm like, look, I've read the Silmarillion. I've read the Lost Tales. I've read the stuff from Christopher Tolkien. I have read the Lord of the Rings and the whole Middle Earth world. I understand that their sun and moon were trees that got eaten by a spider. All right.
Wow.
So
okay.
Yeah, real talk. Real talk. That was from Sauron's boss, Melkor, and Shelob's great to the fifth power grandma.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, real talk. This is I know the cosmology. And what I can tell you is that within that cosmology, there aren't very many detailed stories. Okay? It reads like a history book. In the sense of you get one or two really detailed stories like Tale of Beren and Luthien, the fact that Melkor was scared to death of Manwë, and a few other things. I'm not going to keep dropping them names because people be like, man, he real geeked out. Oh, man, yeah, real. Seriously, man, I go ham on this. But everything else is like, oh yeah, and this happened at this time. And then after that, this happened at this time. But you don't get conversations. You don't get... The most you get is this elf felt this way. And then they skip to 500 years later.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it is. Because we're looking at 5,000 years over the course of about 7 books, and most of them are short stories.
Okay.
So 5,000 years, and that's after time begins. That's why I was geeked about this show season 1. I'm like, oh damn, they're gonna do Numenor? We're gonna see the sailors? All right, let's see that. Okay, they're kind of trash.
Yeah, they could use some more training, just a little bit more.
And this season, it's looking very much like Elrond is going to be our voice of reason, unlike he was in the movies, where he was just, well, okay, in the stories and in the books and in the movies, Elrond is kind of a buzzkill.
Kind of a buzzkill?
Yes, kind of a buzzkill.
I remember Elrond not being cool at all. Even when I was doing my videos or like asking questions about Lord of the Rings, I was like, I don't like this guy in general.
Honestly, Elrond and Fëanor are the only elves that I actually like.
Wow. Because see, in this, I'm like, yo, man, he's cool. What happened?
Yeah, see, here's the deal. All right, with all the stuff that's coming up, I'm not gonna say casual fans, but just regular people who had friends and didn't spend their childhood in books, didn't know that Elrond had one of the rings of power during the war with Sauron in Lord of the Rings. There were 4 ring bearers in that movie, and we only talk about Sam and Frodo. Well, 5 technically, but we only ever talk about Sam and Frodo. But we saw Galadriel's ring, but we didn't see that Gandalf had a ring, and he even called it by name, and Elrond had a ring.
Okay.
Yeah, because Galadriel had the ring of adamant, and that's what protected Lothlorien. But Elrond, he had the sapphire ring, and that's how he kept the last homely house from fading with most of the rest of time. However, he didn't want to be king. Real talk, he was the librarian.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
he was the head historian of the elves.
In Lord of the Rings, he does not seem cool. And when I started watching Rings of Power, I was like, yo, man, this guy's cool. Like, why is he so whack in the movies?
Because by the War of the Ring, he was tired.
Cool.
Yeah, he was tired. And
see, man, that age will get you, y'all. Y'all gotta look. You gotta remember to stay young at heart.
Yeah, and he
don't be Elrond.
No, he personally witnessed 3 wars, bruh. 3.
Okay, all right, I'll take that back a little bit.
All right, so using American history as a metaphor, you met Elrond as he's trying not to come out of retirement to go to Vietnam, forgetting that he was in World War II and Korea before.
All right, I got you.
And this show was set in World War II.
Yeah,
because
because it doesn't seem like it seems like the orcs are, we already knew they were, making more and, because we saw that in the first season when they had can't remember the place they had the battle at, but they had the battle in
where
the human
yeah where
section, whatever.
where they established Mordor is
Yeah.
all right, but
So
yeah, there is
they
the
already
word-
have like a good amount of orcs already, but this trailer looks like they really went into production.
Sauron's been working.
Yeah.
He's been working, you know. And yeah, I mean, no, I wasn't a big fan of the fake out in season 1, but now that we got everything that's laid out, we get to see Fëanor work, we get to see Gil-galad work. And I was always interested in Gil-galad. Gil-galad is Elrond's boss. In the trailer, he's the one in yellow.
Okay.
He's the elf in yellow with the crown. He is the actual king of that faction of elves, because there are 4.
Yeah, I remember you telling me there's 4 elves. They're like the one in the woods and the ones that got all the silver and gold, like the richy looking ones.
There are the high elves, which is where Gil-galad is. The Lothlorien elves, that's where Galadriel builds and lives. But there's also the wood elves. That's where Legolas comes from.
Yeah,
and his father was the king. Yeah, his father, that jerky elf from the Hobbit trilogy.
Yeah, he whacked.
Yeah, he was the king of those elves because Legolas is a prince.
Yeah.
And then there are the elves of there we go. Then there are the elves of the West. And the shipwright is he's not the commander, he's the ambassador. So when all the elves are leaving Middle Earth, he's the dude that's organizing all the boats.
Okay, cool.
And he was the original ring bearer of the Ring of Fire.
Because it seems like maybe they have to do this for, it's like poetry, it rhymes. But, it's like it seems like in the Hobbit trilogy, as well as in Lord of the Rings.
Can we hold on for a sec? I got to take care of this dog.
Oh, all right, yeah. We gonna slow up. Go and do your thing. I'll break down what I was thinking. But with this trailer, another thing that I get is a sense of urgency that didn't seem to be that didn't seem to be around in the first season, and that may have been because they were kind of I guess setting up everything that was supposed to go on in the world in general. It seemed that we were walking along, kind of taking our time, having a lot of discussions, going back and forth with whether we should or shouldn't we, and how should we do it. And it didn't seem like we were gaining the ground as fast as this trailer seems to be bringing it, because for instance, when we have say the scene with the scenes with Galadriel, it seems to come off more like we were just waiting for her to become something. Or the scenes with Eleanor, the Brandyfoot girl, it just seemed like we were just kind of like stalling or killing time to get to this season, to where it seems like we doing our thing now.
It seems like we
slow. Strutting. Yeah, it seems like we strutting in this season.
Yeah, it was very slow in the setup. And we really had to get to know these characters. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they had a rush production or not, but what I can say is the first season did drag in a lot of the aspects that a lot of people want, specifically what you want, which is that action.
Yeah, because we see the orcs building up, and we see people that know that orcs are coming, and no one's listening to them, and it's like, yo, they're coming, and nobody's listening. And it makes you as a viewer even more I don't know, upset or anxious because you're like, hey man, like people are ended up dead and stuff, and like ain't nobody doing nothing. We're walking around, we're talking to people going on the ships. Okay, they're finally on the ships, or dealing with Durin and well, Papa Durin, not the son, but dealing with Papa Durin. And it's just like, come on, man, like listen, man, like it's so now it seems that since that whole battle at Mordor, now we're in a period where people can't turn a blind eye anymore, which is good story wise because now you have to deal with what's going on.
Oh, well, make no mistake. There's never a point in the Lord of the Rings story where people can't turn a blind eye. That's why it was so hard to get everybody on the same page during the War of the Ring. You know, it's very the one of the biggest themes in Lord of the Rings is if there is peace for more than 10 years, everybody thinks that that peace is forever. Like real talk. It just, you know.
Well, I mean, it can be. You know, you just gotta make sure. You know, just make sure you keep your eye on that mountain over there. All right, you make sure.
Again, that's like, I get the whole thing with the brandies because, yeah, you know, it's called the Brandywine River, and the hobbits have always been out of it. Okay, the hobbits are literally country folk in a time of war. So it just comes down to, yeah, guess what? Oh, there's war in the Ukraine. I live in Iowa. Like, how does that affect me? You know, that's really what they've always done. So that was one of the reasons I was so patient in the first season. Because I'm like, yeah, this is how they're building up, you know? But what this trailer is showing me is something that that the books really didn't go into. Like I said, they're written like history books, right? Mm-hmm. And so the beginning of the movie says, what was up with the 20 rings of power? You know, 3 to the Dwarven kings, 7 to the Dwarf lords, 9 to the men, right? Mm-hmm. And they said, well, the men became corrupt, and that's all they said. And in the books, they just said, the 7 of the dwarves, yeah, they were they got lost somewhere. We don't know, man. They're gone. They got lost.
Don't ask.
And we find out what happened to the Elven rings because by the end of the War of the Ring, i.e., the movie trilogy, we know that Elrond has his and takes it back to Valinor. Gandalf, Elrond has the Ring of Sapphire, which he takes back to Valinor. Galadriel has the Ring of Adamant, which is the Ring of Water, which he takes back to Valinor. And Gandalf has the Flame of Arnor, which he takes back to Valinor. So we know what happens to those 3. And after the one ring is destroyed, then the rings, you know, they pretty much turn off. So we know what happens, but we don't exactly know how they work. You feel me?
Yeah. Because they don't really get into it. They're just like, these rings are special and they're powerful for a reason.
Yeah.
And don't ask, they just are.
Well, you got to go deep lore. Like the secret fire was the fire of life. And Gandalf's ring was the ring that inspired hope and brotherhood. Which is why, as soon as he fell, the fellowship broke up. He was always the one that was keeping everybody together. You know? And when Gandalf was around, people were like, you know what, we might be able to pull this off. All right, yeah, let's do this. All right, we could. I'm really scared. Yeah, I'm scared too. But
we can make it. We might be able to pull this off.
You know, so yeah. Let's do this. But when Gandalf ain't there, nah, I ain't leaving home. And that's what that ring was.
Okay. Well, another thing about this trailer, because I want to make sure I say this before we jump on into our other section, but Aaron Deere was looking good, man. He was slashing, kicking, punching, flipping. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. That's what we came here for. I mean, he out there behind enemy lines. He's on his own. He had his partner had to go back, try to relay the message. He ended up dead. So he on his own. All right, Theo out there working for the wrong side. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know he's a kid, but I mean, he still know he doing wrong. But Aaron did, he all on his own, man. All on his own.
Yeah.
He's still doing his thing. He stabs the dude in the neck with a arrow, then turns around, slashes another guy. He don't even have to shoot the arrow to kill you. That's how good he is.
See, honestly, I'm looking forward to who I believe is Gandalf. Because in the books, it very much it states that he was on Middle Earth before, and that was where he actually started liking hobbits. But that's about it. That's literally it. And I'm like,
hopefully they don't try to pretend he's not somebody, because they did the whole thing with Sauron all of season 1, and I don't know. I wasn't against it. I guess it was kind of alright.
So this is another deep book reader thing.
Okay.
Sauron was always a shapeshifter, number 1. Okay. That was one of the things he learned from Melkor / Morgoth.
Right.
So him taking the form of a man, I thought that was kind of dumb, but I'm like, you know what? I'll allow it. When he created the 20 Rings of Power, and they actually showed this on the trailer, he showed up as an elf from Valinor, pretty much saying, "No, I'm the bearer of gifts. Like, hey, how you doing? Oh, you're trying to work on this magic stuff? Let me help you out with that. Hey, you got this going? Let me help you out with that. Hey, you got this stuff going? Let me help you out with that. By the way, have you heard the good news about our Lord and Savior Melkor?"
And I guess for someone who doesn't know all the lore, I just got the movies. I wonder when he changed to, because I guess they didn't really spell this out, or I don't remember. When he changed to human, it also seemed like he had some form of amnesia. Like he didn't remember who he was.
That is also a possibility. Crossing
so
over into
does that come with shifting, or did that just come with him falling to earth or something like that?
It's more of a fallen to earth type thing.
Oh, okay.
Because if you remember, when Gandalf changed from Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White, he had to be reminded of who he was. That's why it's like, right. Oh yeah, Gandalf. They used to call me Gandalf the Grey. That's right. Oh, snap. That's why I'm here.
Okay.
Because there are big magical walls between the realm of the Valinor or the realms of the Valar and Erda, which is what the name of the is it Erda? I'm pretty sure it's Erda. No, Arda. Yeah, that's the name of Middle Earth. So yeah. And because I mean it's kind of, most of these things are not anthropomorphized. They're big balls of energy and spirits. Like the biggest thing that the books they make clear in a really subtle way is that the 5 wizards and Sauron are kind of angels.
Yeah, remember you talking about sort of how they're positioned in the lore.
Yeah, they're kind of angels. Same with the Balrogs, like all 11 of them. And
we do see one of those in this trailer, don't we?
Yeah.
It seemed like there was a shot with one of them.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's the same one, but it seemed like there was a shot with one of them.
I'm scrubbing through the trailer right now.
Because there's one that shows up, or at least seems to show up, like he throws like a big flaming arrow, like a huge flaming arrow at something or someone.
Yeah, I'm just checking.
And that's another thing where just the fantastical element of this just being like, this is crazy. Like, this is crazy in a good way. I'm happy to see this. I'm happy it's going down. Like, we're back in this, fantastical realm or world, and we get to see all of the beauty that Amazon is bringing to us. Shouts to Amazon on this.
Yeah, and it was a Balrog, and it was a spear. which means it's not the Flame of Udun, nor is it the head Balrog. I can't remember his name. I want to say Grond, but I'm pretty sure that was Melkor's wolf. But yeah, so it was one of the others, because there's like 11 or 12 of them. And so Melkor used them as lieutenants. He also had dragons.
Yeah, I forgot about the dragon.
Yeah, because
I forgot about the dragon. Homie was mad arrogant too. Well, like, so you gonna think you gonna come up in here and take my gold?
Oh, you're talking about Smaug?
Yeah.
Yeah, Smaug's a little guy.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
I don't know if they know what they mean by little. Because little is little. See, Hobbit's a little. All right. Smaug is not little.
As far as dragons go, Smaug's a runt, bro.
Dang.
Yeah.
Puts things into perspective.
Yeah. Fantasy has this big old trope where the past was always bigger and more grand. Yeah,
then because you got me thinking, okay, if that's the case, sometimes this makes me, and I know we ain't supposed to ask about this is fantasy, but like, where do these things live, man? Because if Smaug is the smallest one, if he like a little baby one, where the rest of these things living? Someone has to see them. They can't just
most of them got buried. Most of them got buried in the war that killed Melkor.
Word.
Yeah, Elneagon was the biggest one. Yeah. Oh, Glaurung. Glaurung was one of them, and he didn't have wings. But remember how
so he was just a lizard?
Yeah, big old lizard.
Yeah, because I ain't gonna give you dragon title unless you get some wings, man. I can't do that for you.
Well,
you can be a lizard, maybe a crocodile or something, but yeah, I don't know if I can give you dragon title.
Well, there were 9 of them, but the 3 smallest ones were Gostir, Celthia, and Smaug. And Smaug was the tiniest one.
Dang.
Glaurung was... Alright, so you can take Smaug, and you can... not Smaug, okay? He's pronounced Smaug, okay?
Oh, Smaug.
Smaug,
right. Yeah. Got you.
Smaug, yeah. If you took Smaug and cloned him 5 times and just set all 5 of them next to each other, that was the size of Glaurung's body before the tail.
Hey.
He looked like
okay.
He looked like the unholy spawn of a Komodo dragon and an alligator.
Okay.
You know, so
see, guys, that's why we having him here so he can bust down the knowledge.
Yeah,
but straight up, I'm just happy we got this coming. We got some more cool stuff to watch.
Oh yeah, bro. I mean, it's some real stuff because, but as for where they live, they get struck down, and I believe Gosser dematerialized and went back to went into the darkness with Melkor, as did Aneliagon. But remember in the first movie where they said the dwarves dug too deep and woke something? Yeah, so when Middle Earth loses a great big monster, that thing ends up underground. Deep underground. We're talking like 20-30 kilometers underground.
Dang, man. See?
Which is why everybody's looking at the dwarves going, do y'all gotta be that greedy?
or just, you can dig deep, but once you get to a certain level, be like, all right, we're gonna dig somewhere else because we're gonna go too far because then we're gonna wake something up.
Yeah, exactly. But as thousands of years pass, people be like, man, that's just old wives' tales. Yeah, my grandmother used to talk about that. There ain't no dragons down. There ain't no Balrogs down here. That was just them trying to scare you and all that stuff. And then came the Flame of Udun.
Yeah, because see, they would have been fine. But you know what? We got some Trek to get to. So I ain't gonna dog them out all day because we also have a show that I've been waiting for a while, which is that Section 31. That's right. Section 31 is here, y'all. We got our first look or our teaser trailer for it. I'm
I mean, is
I'm
it
hyped.
is it still a teaser if it's 2 minutes long?
I mean, I guess kind of because it. I don't know. They call it a teaser. I mean, it seems more like a straight trailer, but teaser, I guess. But
Yeah.
this this one I'm intrigued about because this trailer is not what I expected it to be at all. Um, of course, in Section 31, we get this kind of like CIA vibe, and they're definitely doing Black Ops stuff, and then in the trailer, what I'm getting more of is more of this kind of, I don't know, team Mission Impossible kind of vibe. So now I'm like, okay, I have no idea what to expect.
Mission
And
Impossible
I'm
was
excited
CIA,
about
right? Yeah, Mission Impossible was CIA, right?
No, they weren't CIA. They were. All I know is they're separate from the CIA because the CIA is always mad at them for not following rules. Like the CIA got to follow rules.
Yeah, well, Black Ops, but yeah, I mean it's the whole thing. But all spy stuff except for James Bond, is a team thing. However, James Bond always has a team.
Yeah, James Bond always has a team. He looks like he's on his own, but he does have a team.
Yeah, because where would he be without MQ and Moneypenny?
Yeah, true.
But what I'm getting from this trailer, bro, is that we get Emperor Michelle Yeoh's origin.
Yeah, and a whole bunch of like undercover stuff that I did not expect, and since I didn't expect it, I'm really pumped as to where they're going to go with this, especially since it seems like the team has a handler. I mean, I guess for, semi-straight man comedy kind of thing, because it seems like the handler is like, the Federation has me here to make sure no one dies. I'm like, you can forget that.
And God dog it, you crashed 3 squad cars last time you were out here.
Last time you saved the city, you burned down a city block. So yeah, I can almost guarantee you someone's gonna die. I'm almost gonna guarantee you that. It doesn't seem like this team's phasers are on stun.
No.
Nah, I think their phasers are gonna be on, I don't know, full power or whatever it is, number 10, full volume, whatever it is. It's gonna be on that. And yeah, they're saying you're here to make sure no one commits murder. I hope your job isn't based on that, because I'm sure someone's going to get murdered in this.
Well, again, if we think way back to Discovery Season 1 and Season 2, this is Michelle Yeoh's character from the Mirror Universe. This is evil woman who got a job as a spy.
But she changed. She got better. She became better. She was, she was nice. She was a good captain and everything.
She became less lethal, is what happened.
He was like, I don't know if I say nice.
Nah. She became less. She became less killy, as we would say in the game world.
Okay.
And then she got the job with the CIA. Now, I'm actually wondering if we're going to get any cameos from Cronenberg.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Agent Star Trek. So, because he seems to be the one that recruited her.
Exactly.
So, I'm pretty sure he'll show up in here once or twice, I assume. But another thing that I love about this trailer is it seems like Philippa is loving this role. Like Philippa's like, oh, word, undercover, I get to do what I want.
Well, undercover, no supervising. I'm not stuck with that prime directive or a crew of altruistic mad scientists. All right, I guess I found my place here.
Sounds good to me. And we get Ghost from Power, so he's in here. You know, he's holding a gun and he's looking around like he about to shoot somebody. And I don't think that gun is on stun. I don't think that phase is on stun.
So yeah.
So
So Star Trek gets involved in the spy genre. All right.
yeah,
So,
I'm excited to see where this goes because what I expected to see, which was probably more of a straight laced kind of Black Ops thing, seems to have more maybe more irreverence in it. Maybe that's the word.
well, here's
But in a
take
good
on
way,
that.
not in a way that I think is annoying. In a way that I'm like, ooh, okay, let's see what happens. That kind of thing.
Well, what I'm seeing is that the people behind the scenes of Star Trek, okay, they said, all right, how can we give Star Trek a little more meat without going stupid?
Mhm.
In a nutshell, how can we recapture the lightning in a bottle that was Deep Space Nine?
Ooh.
Because remember, Deep Space Nine is the darkest show that Star Trek ever made. And in the sense of, yeah, we got the Prime Directive and we're trying to be good, but don't get it twisted. Like, don't get it twisted. This captain and this crew knows that they regularly sit on weapons of mass destruction in their pockets. You know, and so that show was politics and a little bit of espionage, and it worked well. And they haven't released anything that shows the necessity to do some bad things every once in a while since that show.
Okay. And also Section 31 with the way the title card comes up, I might be reaching, but I'm getting like a little sprinkle of some kind of, Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad-y kind of feel too, where these are some people that they get to do bad stuff for the Federation and they enjoy doing the bad stuff.
Yeah.
Like, not only do they know that they have to do the bad stuff, but they're like, yeah, I like this part.
You nailed it right there. Guardians and Suicide Squad. This is very much a James Gunn type inspired show.
And
I
if they
hope it'll be more serious than Peacemaker.
Oh man.
And I loved Peacemaker. I loved Peacemaker.
If we set this off, if this thing goes off though, because like I've been saying for a while, Star Trek is back, in my opinion.
Oh,
We've got 2 animated series that I like. We've got 3 or 4 shows that I like. Star Trek is back, in my opinion. In my opinion.
So, at risk of getting pounced on by your audience, I find it funny because everything that they've been wanting from Star Wars has been given on a silver platter by Star Trek, and they cross over.
Definitely. Yeah. I would say
they're so loyal to the Star Wars brand. I'm like, bruh,
Star Trek has been killing it. There is all right. So let's say if we were going to talk about series, because Star Trek hasn't been making films, but on the TV side, if you were to take Star Trek TV and Star Wars TV, it's a mismatch.
They're literal opposites.
It's a mismatch.
Star Wars
Star Wars has everything. A roller coaster.
Yeah, well, Star Wars,
a good show, 3 bad shows, 1 good show, 2 bad shows, 1 good show.
Star Trek has had 6 great shows and Picard.
Oh, Picard, man! Look, we love you, man. We love you. It was tough, but I mean, Star Trek Prodigy, I think is good. Lower Decks, I really
amazing.
Like. Strange New Worlds, which we'll talk about in a second. I like that. Discovery, I like that. Section 31 looks like it's something that I'm going to end up liking. Like, even Picard from a production standpoint was awesome. I just didn't like what we were doing, but but Star Trek has been really shining.
Yeah, like I said, they've had 5 or 6 good shows and Picard, where Star Wars has had um 5 or
Andor,
6.
Mandalorian, and a whole bunch of bad shows.
Yeah, exactly.
You could throw in. It's hard. I will throw in the final season of Clone Wars, but Clone Wars didn't really start under the Disney banner, even though I mean they made the final season under the Disney banner, so that I'll give them 2, but I can't give them all of Clone Wars. And I will say I do like Star Wars Visions, which are all the little like anthology vignettes that they have from different anime producers.
I'll tell you that I hate it. I will tell you that I hate Visions.
Oh, you do? Oh,
I
dang.
hate Visions in the same way that Big Fish made me hate Tim Burton's work.
Okay, all right.
Because Visions is objectively good, and it shows that they can do good, and then we get everything that they release, and we find out that though they can, they won't.
So because Visions is good, you don't like it. But I get it. It's like that kid that you know can get A's, but he's a slacker, so he brings in a D+, and you're like, and I know you're smart.
You look at this same kid going, you can list everything in the world about dinosaurs. Why aren't you passing your math test? And the kid looks at you and says, math ain't dinosaurs. And then you go, I'm like, trying to be more evolved than my mama, so I'm going to keep this belt on. But
get in your room.
Yeah, deep breath. Deep breath. Goose Fafa. Goose. I mean, that's really what I was at when I was looking at Visions. I'm like, where's this show? Hey, where's this show?
There's a couple of those shorts where I'm like, why hasn't this been greenlit into at least a short film? Or because, okay.
See, now you're feeling it.
Quick tangent, and I'm coming back to Star Trek. In the way that Warner Brothers does animated movies for DC, Star Wars could have made well, no, they did. They just finished their trilogy for the Crisis on Infinite Earth, so they still kind of do it. But Star Wars could have been making animated movies for their comic book runs. Also, just like they did that movie short for Werewolf by Night, which they should have done more from, because that was like one of the best things from Phase 4, but don't get me started.
And anyway, the Guardians Christmas specials, yeah.
You could do other shorts like that. So you could do like a quick OVA of one of the shorts. So say one short that was cool was the Ronin short. So you could say, okay, that did well. People really loved it. Let's make this into its own little, say, 45-minute or like 50-minute piece. You know, and so then we could test that. Oh, okay, people really love that. All right, well, maybe next year we'll do like a BBC style, like 3-episode season of it. You know, give him a little, and then or like the twins that did well. The twins that were like Force twins or something, and they fought over changing to the light side and everything. They could say, oh, well, we'll make this. They don't do that, and I thought that's what the power of having these streaming services would do, because you would have the freedom to do these kind of things.
Well, see, they took the story of the twins and they gave us the Acolyte. Don't you see? You see? I mean, it's the brilliance there. They test the concept. And when have they ever gone wrong? I mean, again, the Black Panther made $2.1 billion globally, and they said, yep, we need to make more stuff about cats.
They said, you know what? How about this? Why don't we kill that character off screen? Even though, don't get me wrong, I understand Chadwick Boseman passed, but there's the whole we've already done the argument of why he should have been recast. But what I'm saying is, even if you don't recast him, like, did he have to die off screen? Like, it was just like, all right, well, he dead, y'all. All right, well, let's move on. And then you killed the Queen Mother. Golly, okay. Look, back to Star Trek. All right. So, Star Trek Section 31. I like it because this is something that I did not expect. I expected something more straight lace, and now that it's not, I'm even more intrigued because this allows Star Trek to stretch a little bit.
Yeah.
It does look like it's still serious, but there are more loose tones about their interaction with one another,
Okay.
which I did.
Yeah, it looks like they're starting with the banter.
Yeah, because I'm guessing this is probably a team that she's been put in charge of, or maybe a team that she's been thrown on, or something like that.
It's a different thing, because what I can definitely say, I've met one or two people in the intelligence field over the course of my adult life. And the thing is, they're not staunch military types most of the time. They are not like, yes, Starfleet is this, and look at my uniform, it is neatly pressed all the time. Yes. You know, if you ever meet someone from intelligence, number one, most people wouldn't know. And then you look at them and you're like, wait a minute, you're a spy? And they'll be like, nah.
What I've heard from people on the military side, because I know a lot of people that are on the military side, at least from what I've gotten from them, what they've experienced, is you show up and there's an intelligence guy there. And they're like, he's part of your team. And you're like, whoa, but we don't know this guy, but he's going. He's going. It comes from above all of us, and he's going.
Yeah.
He's got a vest on, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's like, but we don't know this guy. We don't even know if we like this guy.
Doesn't matter. And the thing is, when you put together a team of intelligence people, you get banter, yet it's not as toxic as, say, when infantry gets together.
Oh, yeah, because infantry is... I've been around, let's say, about 8 or so infantry guys that were... some had finished, but some were... most of them were still serving, like 5 of them were still serving. And when they say cursing like a sailor, they are not... I'm like, man, it's... Like, they can't get out of a sentence without saying a curse word.
Yeah. Although I do have to say, Marines and Army both have a level of colorful language that I'm just envious of. Just envious of. Just the stuff that they say. I'm just like, okay, writing that down. All right, writing that down.
It's like, where did you get that from?
Turns out they got it from...
How'd you even think to pair those words together?
Yeah, they got it from a screaming green demon in a Smokey Bear hat. You see what I mean? Some people call that a drill sergeant.
Oh boy, but yeah, it's something that I'm excited for. Michelle Yeoh seems like she's loving the character.
Yeah.
Ghost, I can't remember his real name, but he's gonna be Ghost for the rest of his life. But Ghost looks like he's all in. The comic relief guy, he's already kind of hitting it for me where I'm like, yeah, he's gonna be the guy that kind of like leads us through how crazy the situation is. And then I'm just gonna enjoy seeing the handler be disappointed every mission. Because I'm pretty sure
Rick Flag, if you will.
It's like, all right, don't worry about it. No problem. No one's getting shot. No one's getting shot. No one is getting shot. I promise you that. I mean, we have our guns, but we ain't even gonna have to use them because no one's getting shot.
Blam. Hey, no one else is getting shot. You know.
Then pop. Then like 5 minutes later, it's like, okay, some people did get shot.
Right.
So I'm excited. It's not what I expected, and that makes me even more interested in this project. So I'm definitely down for Section 31, more so than I was when it was first announced. And I was already hyped for that, to see what a Black Ops would look like.
Yeah.
Especially since they have like a Terminator type dude. Seems like a Terminator type character on their team. I want to see where that goes. He just looks weird. He has like eye goggles and weird cybernetics on his body. Yeah. So let's go. Let's go and see how this plays out. And hopefully we get some cool fight scenes with Michelle Yeoh. I know she's, none of us are getting any younger, but she's still trained in Kung Fu. I'd love to see some cool fight scenes. See her take some people down, throw some cool moves out there. So yeah, I'm down for this. And I'm happy that we're getting it soon because we actually have footage. Well, you know, I mean, just because they filmed something, Batgirl, just because they filmed something doesn't mean that we're gonna get it. So,
Yeah.
so this means that we actually are gonna see it. We're gonna get it. Unlike the Mahershala Ali Blade movie, that I don't think we ever gonna see that. Now, due to Ryan Reynolds, we might get Wesley back.
Yeah, we might get Wesley back, so that ain't a terrible thing.
Yeah, it's not a terrible thing. I mean, it kind of sucks for Mahershala Ali because, like, yo, I've been waiting around for like 5 years for this movie to get made. But hey, who knows? But who knows? Maybe they can slide him in on like a multiverse. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, the Section 31, I'm down. So before we bounce, we did get a small look. Well, no, not a small look. We got about a scene. I guess you can say.
First look, one would say.
Yeah, you're right. A first look at Star Trek Strange New Worlds. In my opinion, one of the stellar showings from Star Trek. But I mean, Star Trek, like I said, has been on point.
Yeah.
Like, I like the team. I like the captain. Like, everybody's been dope on this show.
Honestly,
And
I've been saying for a long time, Cisco has been my captain for 20 years, but Pike is up there.
you know,
Like,
Pike is coming through. I like him.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much to like about him, the crew. Everybody's chilling. And in this first look, we get to see there's a mission they're going on. Everybody has to like change
Into Romulans into Vulcans.
Vulcans.
Yeah.
And they the funny thing is that everybody changes except
Except
Penguin's-
Carol Kane. Yeah.
Yeah,
Except-
Penguin's mom. So
Yeah, except Carol Kane, and it makes sense
yeah, it
because of her
does.
species.
Yeah. She said maybe it's because of my species, and it's you know she's trying to feel it, but nothing happens. But the funny part about this scene is after everyone turns, they get like they don't
They
just
they get
don't
new
just go-
dudes.
they don't just go Vulcan, they go full Vulcan.
Yeah.
Like because it's like okay. Not only are they like logical and they want to talk about how, you know, straight and formal everything must be, but they are not letting go of the fact that Spock is not full Vulcan.
Yeah.
And it's like, dang, they ain't gonna let this go. And it's a running gag, but you can see it wearing on Spock. Spock is, you know, this scene is a perfect example of this is why I left XYZ town. Like, you know, you grew up and you moved away, and then you go back for Thanksgiving or something, and you're like, this is why I left. You're like, you know, like you get off the airport and you're like, man, it's good to be home, man. I love being home. And then like day 2, you're like, this is why I left.
Bro, in the past, what?
I
3
know there's
years?
somebody that is listening to this that can understand what I'm talking about.
Look, in the past 3 years, we have both moved back to our hometowns. So we are we're feeling it.
Yeah, and like for me, there's more good than bad, but there are some things where I'm like, yeah, this is why I left. But that's usually tied to smaller interactions that I don't really have to like deal with in an intense way or in a long form way. So it's not like any family members that I have to worry about. It's more old acquaintances where you're just feeling burned out. You're thinking, hey, I lived in LA for 12 years and I just got back. I've been back here for like 2 years and I'm already burned out on you. Oh man, I did not miss you. No.
Yeah, that
Or you see the people that definitely have not changed, and you just thought they'd be different because it's been 12, say, in my case, 12 years, but well, like 11 years and like 7 months, but basically 12 years. Or for you, your case, it might be 5 years, 10 years, whatever, when you move back. When you move back or when you visit back, you're thinking, I thought you might have been more mature now.
Yeah.
And you're not.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. So Spock has that look on his face like, I hate this.
He's like, what did I do?
And then when he says, oh, they're going to change any second, and he gets the news of the actual change that we don't know when we're going to change back. Oh man, this is going to be a good episode. But the eyebrows, the ears, the new dues, it's silly and very fitting of Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
In a way where this show reminds us that space is weird.
But it can also be fun.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of serious situations in Strange New Worlds. Like you have the situation with I cannot remember her name now. Number one, when they're trying to basically strip her of her rank and put her in jail and everything. That whole trial is very serious. But there's a lot of episodes where, hey, space is just weird, y'all.
Yeah.
It's just weird. It's weird stuff going on out here. And we don't even know what to do. Time is weird. The relativity of time is weird. All of this is strange. I mean, even what they dealt with the Lower Decks crew last season. Going to the place where everybody had to sing. Like space is just weird. And the funny thing is, they take it in stride. No one's sitting around like, man, wasn't it crazy that we had to sing? They're just like, yeah, man, we had to sing. That's
like,
it.
Yeah, no,
we had to sing.
Singing is singing. That's the world.
Yeah, we just had to sing all the time, no problem. And they're fine with it, so I'm fine with it. Or we find out that the doctor was like a cool black ops, super paramilitary ninja dude back in the day. And we're just like, okay, so then it gets super serious about like PTSD.
Oh, that happened, yeah.
And reconciling with the things that you did, and does that make you bad forever, and things of that nature. So, they balance it well. And I'm so excited to see this episode because the look on Spock's face is priceless already when they're like, yeah, by the way, he's not full Vulcan, so we understand.
Yeah. And he's sitting up like, Spock. Really? Okay.
Especially from his woman, or what? Hold up, did they claim each other yet? I don't know if they like full claimed each other, but that's his woman.
You gotta go back to the original series, bro.
See, I've never watched the full original series. I've just seen a spattering of episodes, but I don't know anything. Now, I've seen the original movie, but not the original series.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I assume, I can't remember exactly how they ended off last season, but for right now, that's his boo. I'm like, I'm gonna go and say that's his boo right now. I mean, he ain't put a ring on it, but I mean, that's his boo. Yeah, that's his girl. I mean, until further notice, of course. Oh, also the slow-mo walk with the weapons, chef's kiss.
Yeah. I'm like, oh man, you know what? When I first saw that, you know what I did?
What?
I put it on mute and I put on the soundtrack to Reservoir Dogs.
Wow.
Yeah. I had to. I really had to.
Man, okay, so I'll leave my statement on one thing that makes this scene or look so awesome is that it says like, hey, your ears are so pointy, and they say number 1, 4 1/2 Vulcans to beam down. And Spock looks over like, like mother. Like it wasn't even necessary.
It was the Vulcan way of being like, this ninja did not just, you know.
Right? I know he didn't. Like he could have just said forward to being down, man. Like Vulcans say they don't have any emotion. They be full of it. Like they direct all their emotion into pure arrogance.
Yeah. Well, they make it very clear in most of the Star Trek stuff that deals with Vulcans. They have emotions. In fact, their emotions are more intense than humans. So
because they always repressing it.
Yeah, they suppress everything because they don't know how to deal with how intense they feel. That's what caused the breakup between Vulcan and Romulus. Because the Romulans are like, you know what? No, we gonna lean into this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I couldn't believe he said that, but it was hilarious. But I was like, no, he didn't. He could have just said 4 to being down. He said 4 and 1/2 Vulcans. I was like, oh, that's cold.
Yeah.
Oh man. But with that said, I'm gonna throw it over to you. Hit me with some final thoughts, and where can they find you?
Some final thoughts are, these 3 shows have done their jobs well. Okay? Really, really well, because I'm looking forward to all 3 of these shows.
Yeah.
And hopefully I won't be disappointed, but I don't see myself being disappointed with these shows. Now, that being said, I look at shows with different expectations than a lot of people. But so far, Star Trek has not let me down, and Rings of Power Season 2 looks to be more engaging than Season 1.
Yeah.
So let's hope. Let's seriously hope. And if you guys want to talk with me about how we can look at this stuff in different ways, come on over to twitch.tv/BID_P, or check out the Solar Gray YouTube channel after you subscribe here, and we can talk about some stuff.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. On my side, final thoughts, Rings of Power. If you haven't seen it, give it a shot. I know there's some people that have already seen it, and there's some people that don't like it just because they were never going to like it. But if you've never watched the show and you're into Lord of the Rings, give it a shot, because it came through, and I think people should at least give it a shot. Give it like an episode or 2. You know, I'm not saying watch the whole season. You know, I understand you ain't got all that time, but give it like an episode or 2. I think it's worth your while. Section 31, I'm hype on that. And Strange New Worlds, you should have been watching that. This is season 3. But if you haven't watched Star Trek Strange New Worlds, this seems like it's going to be a great point to jump on, because it doesn't seem like they are regressing in their storytelling. It seems like they're keeping the same kind of vibe with the crew. And yeah, even with Penguin's mama talking about all the LSD she did in the 60s or something. Is this Pelia? That's her name. It's just funny. It's fun. It's funny. They do have some serious moments, but I think they're going to be coming with it this season. So these are shows that I think you guys should be giving a shot at least. And also, there's tons of stuff to watch. There is no reason you should be out there complaining. If you are on the internet complaining about something, don't. All right, there's tons of shows, and the shows that I cover doesn't even count for all. There's tons of reality shows that I'll probably never ever cover. There's tons of shows. There's like procedurals and stuff that I'll probably never ever cover. But there's something out there for you to like. So go like something. All right, just go like something. Don't dislike something. Go like something. So maybe NCIS is your thing. They got like 30 of them.
So yeah. I want to comment on that real quick, because I'm Generation X. Technically, I'm a Xennial, spelled with an X. um, which means I was born in the 70s, but I kept in touch with the internet and all that stuff, right?
Ah.
And that being said, that means I was a teenager in both I was a preteen in the 80s and a teenager in the 90s. Okay, so that being said, I've got a black belt in hating. Okay, I can be just as cynical as everything else, but our deacon of why everything sucks, Kevin Smith himself, straight up came out with, no, I'm looking for reasons to like stuff, man. It's like I'm too old. I had a heart attack. I had a mental breakdown. Like, liking things is a lot easier than not liking things. And it feels better and it's healthier. You know?
Yeah, true.
And I'm like, honestly, I lost my energy to hate everything a long time ago. So there is a lot of good stuff out there. And when I say good, I mean objectively well-made stuff. And there's a lot of stuff that will fit your personal taste, regardless of what that is. So I know this is not the best way to get views on the internet. But yeah, I mean, it's just real talk.
Like, don't get me wrong, I could make shows on like hating things all the time, and then my views would shoot up because I'd just be yelling at whoever made this or whoever made that. Or I mean, of course, if I say the word like I don't know, if I say the word like pandering or something like that, of course my views would shoot up. But I just like liking stuff, man. I'm like, let's talk about stuff that we like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
let's have a good time.
Because I mean, yeah, it's not like our thumbnails are like, why you're wrong about this show.
Oh yeah.
And then be like, yeah, this show is good.
This is why, Star Wars really sucks. Or this is why Star Trek is really horrible. Or this is why you're stupid for liking, I don't know, XYZ anime,
and I'm being,
this is why My Hero
is
trash or something.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm just being straight up, sometimes, most times, it feels good to like something. Try it. Just try it.
Yeah, it's like, find something you like, watch that, and then go on the internet, find other people that like that, and then talk about that show with them.
Or if you can't find other together, and if you find more people that dislike it, you ain't got to argue. Just got to go find the ones that agree with you.
Yeah, like, that's how you got to do. Find some people that like it and just be like, cool. And if you don't like something, you don't have to say it. Just like, be like, no, I don't like it. Perfect example. There are shows that I haven't covered on this. Some of them I haven't covered because I just don't have the time. There's other shows that I just haven't covered them because I do not like them at all. But I don't come online saying I don't like them. I just be like, I don't watch it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I can attest to that. Still trying to get him to watch the Game of Thrones stuff, and he's like, nah. I'm like,
oh yeah. I did give the new House of the Dragon. I gave that 2 episodes. I gave that 2 episodes.
What I will say on that, brother, is it starts to become the show that you want second season, and third season is going to be all you.
I remember first season. The first 2 episodes. They laid it out in very. They laid it out for the king, or varies,
yeah,
very certain terms that, like, look, you need to have an heir because your brother's crazy. Like, that was it. They pulled him in. They literally pulled him into like a tribunal and was like, look, I know you're mourning and we get it, but your brother has support and he's crazy. And you need an heir, like, today. Like, you need to get to work. We ain't trying to push you along, but nobody wants to be ruled by your brother. And we know you don't have the heart to kill him, so you need to have an heir.
Yeah,
then even if you had an heir, you got to be worried about him getting his Scar versus Mufasa on.
Yeah, yeah, and oh, a lot happens, my friend. A lot happens. But yeah, and season two, since it just wrapped up, I can say mild spoilers. There were two really big battles, and one of them featured a bunch of dragons. And
Ooh.
now season three gonna go crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, season three go. Yeah, season one is meet the characters. Season two is see the situation, and season three is like, and this is where we're going with this in time. Mwahahaha.
So, guys, see, that's another
Yeah.
show. You know, there's tons of shows out there. I mean, even if you like, there's those doctor shows too. Find you some if you like medical stuff. I mean, isn't ER still on for like its 2 millionth season?
I
know,
don't.
some
I know too many doctors, and
Chicago Hope or something like that. And something on.
I've known too many doctors, and ironically, you know, the most medically accurate doctor show that's been on TV in the past 20 years was Scrubs.
Wow,
Seriously.
that
They get the medicine and the situation's correct.
wow.
So a lot of it is like,
Scrubs.
that is really what it's like. And take away the comedy, look at what happens, and that is what it's like being a doctor in a hospital. And
I just remember Turk and JD just doing silly stuff all the time.
yeah, check out the cases that they actually work. And you're like, wow. And the interesting thing,
All I remember, Turk would be like dancing. JD would be doing like dumb stuff. The janitor was like breaking things. I don't remember them actually doing a case.
oh, they do cases all the time, and they don't solve all of like, people die on Scrubs all the time, and a good amount of the show is watching these young doctors come to terms with it.
Wow.
By the end of the show, you get to see how Dr. Cox became Dr. Cox, and that he is not a bad guy, like, at all.
Dr. Cox was just a hater like the whole time. But I mean, it's I don't know. Was he a hater, or was Turk and JD doing too much? I don't know.
The answer is yes to both. Because Dr. Cox was JD, but he had been working in the hospital system for so long. It's like, that's his. Dr. Cox is JD's future. If JD gets grind down for caring too much. And Dr. Kelso is like, he's an understandable character once you understand what he does. You know, it's his whole job to keep that hospital open.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's why he doesn't care about the patients. He's trying to get that money to make sure everybody keeps their job.
It's like, look, it's all about the paper, dog.
You know. But yeah, like, real talk, they deal with a lot of good stuff, especially later on in the seasons. And
Wow.
every doctor that I talked to was like, no, that's what it is. That's it right there. And I'm like, Scrubs.
Who would have
comedy?
Who would have thought Scrubs?
I'm like, not
Where-
House. They're like, no, not House. House is stupid. I'm like, okay,
Where-
all right,
Where
cool.
one of the main characters does a dance whenever he's right. Like,
Yeah.
that's. You know what? I'm gonna leave it on that. All right. With that said, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. And until the next time that you have to perform surgery, but before you do that, you have to do a victory dance in front of the other surgeon because you are the better surgeon than that surgeon before you finish this surgery. We're just saying peace.
Whenever you think that the person you're talking to is the mentor that you've always looked for, let it go. Catch you guys later.